I've been on my way up, now it's really far down. I don't think I'll feel it when I hit the ground. In October it feels like summertime. I keep falling for you like every night. Been communicating through satellites, yeah. It's black and white. I'm all up in it.
Hey everyone, good morning and welcome back to NFlex. I'm Alan and today we're going to be looking at what you can expect to be deducted from your paycheck when you start working. Let's grab a coffee, sit down, and get ready for a roller coaster because it may or may not be something you expect. Okay, so first things first, all of the numbers in this video are going to be completely different for every single person who watches this video. These numbers are specific to me and they depend on your income. They depend on where you work in terms of the city, the state, the province, the hospital even. And they also depend on a lot of other things such as if your hospital is unionized or not. So whatever we talk about in this video, you can pick and choose which ones apply to you and which ones don't. You can kind of put those aside. It's still informative, but they may or may not apply to you. So just keep that in mind as you're watching. So you're out of nursing school. You finally land your first job. You're sitting there in the middle of night shift calculating how much you're going to get paid and you get really, really excited. And then that direct deposit hits and you're like, hold on. There's like a whole week missing here. What's wrong? And then you go to your payroll and you check and lo and behold, that's actually how much you got paid and it's accurate. Why is it so low? Why did they take so much money away from me? Let's take a look and maybe I can shed some light on what's important, what isn't, what you should opt in for and what you should definitely opt out for. Let's get started. This is my real paycheck. These are my real deductions. First things first, something we can't really avoid, that is income tax. Here the income tax is pretty huge. I get charged $442 in this pay period. However, it can be a lot more than that too. Depending on how many hours I work, this is a percentage of how much you get paid, and it will change drastically depending on where you work and how much you work. This is not something you can avoid or change, unfortunately. It's something that is automatically deducted from your paycheck. Like they say, taxes are unavoidable. It's like death. The next thing over here is specific for my Canadian friends. This is the Canada Pension Plan. For anyone who doesn't know how the Canada Pension Plan works, over here I'm deducted $134, plus or minus a little bit. It changes as well. Everyone's deducted that amount. That amount gets pooled together in a federal kind of account, and then that amount of money each month is dispersed to the people who are retired, people who are on pension, and it's a small amount that we give, and when we're retired, we're also going to receive it. So it's kind of like the circle of life, the circle of the pension plan. The next one is employment insurance. Employment insurance is another one of those things that you don't really get a say in. You don't really get to decide if you opt in or out. It's there. But realistically, it's not even that much. And it's really useful because if you are ever to be out of work, or if you ever lose a job, or if you ever get fired, or if you're unemployed for whatever reason, your employment insurance will pay you a certain sum of money each month just to make sure that you have enough for some living expenses. I can't say all living expenses, but definitely some. The next one, this is going to be the bulk of the video. It's the HOOPP pension plan. HOOPP stands for Healthcare of Ontario Pension Plan. And this is one of those things that you can opt in for or you can opt out for. But the thing is that HOOPP is a very, very good pension plan. Every dollar that you contribute, your employer contributes $1.27. So you get your dollar and then you get your employer's dollar plus 27 cents. So here I contributed $159.62. That means my employer contributed $159.62 plus 27% on top of that. It is a very good pension plan, and the problem with this pension plan is that if you don't register when it is offered to you within 30 days, whether that's at the time of employment or after you pass a certain probation period like 3 months, it really depends on the hospital for my Ontario friends. If you don't sign up for HOOPP, you won't be able to sign up for it again. So while it might seem like a stressful decision, you have to decide right now within 30 days. And if you don't, you're never getting it again. It's very tempting to say, you know what? I think I'm going to pass on HOOPP because I really want that $160 per pay period in my bank account, in my pocket. I need to pay for gas. I need to pay for groceries. When you're fresh out of school, it's tempting. I want to get that new car. I want to splurge a little bit at the mall. I want to treat myself. And HOOPP seems like one of those things where it's like, well, when I'm looking at my paycheck right now, that's really the only thing I don't really have to pay for. So I think that I'm going to opt out. Personally, I think that this is a really big mistake because if you don't opt in, you can't opt in again. And with HOOPP, it's one of the best pension plans in the province. You can retire as early as 55. That's 10 years of work that you can save on. So as a new grad, when you're looking at the HOOPP pension come out of your first paycheck, it's shocking. It is. It's about 10% of your income. But I promise you it'll be worth it. And I've been told this by many people who have a lot of seniority over me, who have a lot of experience. They've told me that HOOPP is a very good investment in your future. So please keep that in mind when you get your first job, when you land that job and they give you that HOOPP brochure with all the information in it. Think about the fact that it's basically a savings account for you. So no one's taking this money away from you. It's just being put away for your future. So something to consider. The next thing are the union dues. So once a month, depending on the hospital, some hospitals are unionized and some hospitals are not unionized. Mine is every month, only once per month, I get charged $104.86 in union dues. This is not from every paycheck. There are some months where my paychecks line up in a way that I get 3 paychecks in 1 month. I will only have to pay this one time. Unions are useful in a lot of ways. If you ever have any kind of grievances in terms of your payroll, they will defend you. They will fight for your rights. Unionized hospitals also run on seniority. So the longer you work there, the more benefits you can have, the more choice you can have. And that can come in super handy later on. Maybe not so much when we're first starting out, but if we are committed to that job and we stay in that job for a long time and we build our seniority, it can come in very useful. Being unionized does have a few downsides just based on if you're new, it's hard because you don't have any seniority. You're at the bottom of the pile for anything, including jobs, promotions, transfers, anything like that. So while you're first starting out, unions can seem like a burden, and there's a lot of administrative stuff that goes into it too. Realistically, they are there to protect us as employees, and there have been times as a student already that I have had to turn to my union representative and ask her questions and say, what are my rights, basically? And that is an important thing and a very empowering thing to be able to do at work. The last thing that's not pictured here is my parking. I don't know why it didn't show up here. Usually it shows up and it says parking and it says like $0 if I've already paid it. But again, this is one of those things that's going to be different for every hospital. My hospital, I think, has a really good parking rate. For 1 month, the entire month, you just have to pay $45. I've seen hospitals that charge a whole lot for parking, and it can be kind of scary because I'm not about to take the bus at 5:30 in the morning, and I don't want to wake up earlier than I already do. So that's pretty much it. It sounds like a lot, and it is. When I saw my first paycheck, I was sad because I thought I've never been taxed and deducted this much. When I calculated it, it's about $100 per shift. And that realization was so sobering and so scary, and that especially those first 2 weeks that you're working, you haven't received the deductions yet. You're thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna get my first paycheck. I'm gonna go shopping. I'm gonna buy a car. I'm gonna get an Apple Watch. oh my God, all of these things. And then you get your paycheck and it's like, boom. Oh my God, I got deducted how much? The first year I think is the hardest because after that we start to gain traction. We start to get our raises. We can overcome a lot of these fees to a certain extent. Realistically, even looking at all the fees, as a nurse, I still do make a decent income. I'm able to support myself, I'm able to support my family. So while it looks scary, I promise that what you get in return is worth it, and you can grow within the field, you can get raises, you can start your own business, you can do all these things to help you make money on the side. You're not just stuck to one job ever. There are so many avenues, and if you guys are interested, I can make a YouTube video on all of the possible avenues that nurses can take to be an R entrepreneur or an RP entrepreneur and make your bank. Do what you gotta do. If you do want to make those 6 figures, you can within your first year of graduating nursing school. You can, but you just have to put in the work. If you want the 6 figures, they're there for you, but you won't get them working at one job. You won't get them doing one thing. It's better to know beforehand what you're getting yourself into. It's better to know what to expect, because if I had known what to expect a little bit more concretely and visually like this, then I wouldn't have been so shocked when I got my first paycheck. So hopefully this is helpful to some of you guys out there. So yeah, guys, that is about it. As always, guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for tuning in.
In October, it feels like summertime. I keep falling for you like every night.